Good morning. It's Wednesday, August 16th, 2017, 9 o'clock. We're in the Senator Hearing Room, 555 Court Street Northeast for our weekly Board of Commissioners meeting. We start that meeting with a Pledge of Allegiance, so please join. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Love seeing that. Well, we're countdown to Eclipse Day is certainly here. We'll talk about it a little bit at the end of the meeting, perhaps. Oh, are you really? What, you just can't look straight at me without them? Is that what that is?
Yeah, no, I don't see it.
All right. First item's always public.
Sun, you know.
No, I didn't know, but thank you.
You're not having control of this meeting, Commissioner.
No, I'm the only one that's trying to be professional here already. I don't know how it started that way. Our first item is always public comment, and no one has signed up to take advantage of that, so we'll move right to the consent calendar.
Mr. Chair, I would move today's consent calendar. We have two items. Under the clerk's office, approve the contract for services with Links Group, Inc. for $360,000 to print ballots for regular and special elections. And under community services, approve an order appointing Ormond Fredericks to the Marion County Children and Families Commission with a term ending January 31st, 2018.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, it's moved and seconded to approve the consent calendar just read. Any further discussion? Weren't you concerned about $360,000, or is it just how it is?
It's just, yeah,
a lot of
special
money.
election. Well, it says and regular election.
It's, yeah,
I don't
several.
know how much of that is for a special election.
All right, now I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. We have three action items this morning. The first is to consider approval of the Community Corrections Board agreement that includes commissioners, sheriff, and district attorney as members. Commissioner Janet Carlson, your name is on this.
It is. Well, so Mr. Chair, as you know, we have had an agreement with the Marion County Sheriff, we being the Board of Commissioners, since the late 1990s when community corrections became part of Oregon's plan for how we address people coming out of incarceration, out of state prison into our community. It was initially called the Board of Law Enforcement Services, and then quite a few years ago, we changed it to the Community Corrections Board and changed the charter. Each time there's a new board of commissioners or a new sheriff, that charter changes, or agreement, I guess we'll call it. But in this particular instance, the Board of Commissioners and sheriff was interested in how they could include the district attorney as a partner in that Community Corrections Board. So we had a number of discussions as a board and landed on the idea that the district attorney become a non-voting member of the Community Corrections Board. And this was agreeable to our district attorney, Walt Beglaw, and to the board and to the sheriff. I think part of the discussion that we had was the fact that we were changing this agreement not just for the three commissioners we have now and the sheriff we have now and the district attorney we have now, but for anyone who might fill that slot. And it got a little bit complicated because you could actually have two votes, one by the district attorney, one by the sheriff, and one commissioner, and that meant that three people could override the will of the Board of Commissioners. So we were trying to figure out how that might work, and hence came with the idea that the district attorney would be included but would be a non-voting member. The other piece of information that I'd want to share is that when community corrections started, it was under the auspices of the county. So the county is responsible for community corrections, and the Board of Commissioners governs the county. But in our county, we delegate the operations of our community corrections to our Marion County Sheriff's Office, and the sheriff is an independently elected official, and that's why we created that agreement. And that's worked really well over these past number of years, but in the since 2013, when House Bill 3194 passed, a lot of what's going on with community corrections is not just convicting people and sending them to prison, but looking at, do we divert them from prison, particularly for property crimes and drug possession crimes, and keep them in the community, give them treatment. We've had some other programs that we have in the community where, like the women's program, where they come out of prison and spend the last part of their sentence in Marion County, and we work with them to transition to the community. So all of these kinds of programs don't involve not only the sheriff's office, but they also heavily involve the district attorney in terms of making those decisions, charging decisions, recommendations to the court on what happens to a particular person. So that's why we felt like the district attorney needs to be a participant in this community corrections board. So this is the new agreement, new and improved, and it is before the board for your consideration this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah.
More
Mr.
comment?
Chair, no, I just move approval of, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Community Corrections Board Agreement that includes commissioners, sheriff, district attorney as members.
I'll second the motion.
And just to clarify that the district attorney is a non-voting member in the new agreement.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the Community Corrections Board Agreement that includes the commissioners, sheriff, district attorney as members. Just a little bit more comment following up on you, and it was interesting to me, and should be brought out, the district attorney has typically participated, or his office, in all our meetings all the years, and his input, and their input has always been really welcome. But I thought it was very interesting, the idea first was just to have him be a voting member, but he seemed to feel a little reluctance, and he thought there could be situations that put him in a little bit of cross purposes, and I'm not quite sure how, but he was sensitive to it, and so this recognizes that. Let's full membership, full ability to participate, and then not vote, and I think this will be a nice agreement. All right, anything else?
Nope.
Then let's call a question. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. That motion passes. Thank you. Now, the next is under health. We consider approval of an order appointing Deborah Jard and Reverend Deborah Patterson to the Marion County Health Advisory Board with terms ending June 30th, 2021. And Carrie Mueller is here to introduce them. Some don't need introductions, but
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Carrie Mueller, for the record. And yes, we're here this morning seeking your approval to appoint Deborah Patterson and Deborah Gerard to our Health Advisory Board. I've had the pleasure of serving with both of these individuals on other committees, and it's with my strong endorsement that I'm seeking your appointment here. They both bring a great perspective, community perspective, passion for the committees they serve on, and will add the both valued and interested participation to the Health Advisory Board. Their appointment also strengthens our connection between two subcommittees of the Health Advisory Board, the Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities Advisory Committee and the Local Alcohol and Drug Planning Committee. So with that, I'd like to ask them to say a little bit more about their background and their interests.
Good morning. I'm Reverend Dr. Deborah Patterson, and I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much for this, for considering me for this position. We moved to Salem about a decade ago, and after a long lifetime, well, I guess I'm not that old. After many years of working in health administration, I really appreciate the opportunity on this committee to integrate my experience in health administration. I had been a hospital administrator for a time, community public health education. I had run an international health organization, and also I have a special needs daughter and aging parents, so it also gives me an opportunity to integrate my interest in services to people who are aging and those living with disabilities. So thank you so much for considering me for this position.
thank you.
Who's this?
I don't know.
Good morning. I'm Deb Giard, excuse me, and I currently work at the Community Corrections Department at the Sheriff's Office and am an acting member of the Alcohol and Drug Planning Committee. And my purpose for being part of the Health Committee is to make sure that when our individuals are transferring out of prison to get the full spectrum of services, and I can bring some added knowledge to that. I've been a lifelong member here of this community, and I've seen it grow rapidly, and I've seen the great work we've done. And throughout my work history here, working at Schmickett Community College and the Salem Chamber of Commerce and various other businesses, I find it an opportunity now to actually be a part of this work we're doing because we're making a difference and we're moving forward. So thank you for recognizing this and wanting to have us on this committee.
I think it's funny they thank us. Well, I'm so tickled you're here, so
Yeah,
thank you.
thank you very much for your service, your experience, and your background. And Deb, thank you for all you do and the reentry area, and really appreciate that as well. It's a good fit.
So I wanted to say thank you also, and I love the integration, the idea of connecting these groups, because I've had connection with both the Alcohol and Drug Planning Committee and the Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities Committee, in that they do such great work. So Carrie, you and I have been having a few conversations about maybe strengthening this Health Advisory Board and connecting it closer to the board. Do you want to share a few of your
Sure.
thoughts on where you're seeing this going?
Happy to. We just selected a consulting firm to help us with the strategic planning process. So the Health Advisory Board, the really valued contribution to the community and the board, will give some focus and strength to the relationship to the advisory board and some of the really critical strategic decisions that are going to be facing us here in the future. So the Strategic Planning Committee will interview the Health Advisory Board. We're also going to do some focus community work do that work through the Health Advisory Board to ensure that our goals and our direction that we're taking represents the needs of the community, and as well bring the board more active, I think, level of participation. I know the committees are very interested in coming before you and having your influence and direction to the work that we do. So finding a way to do that works for the committee and works for you is my interest. So I'm very excited about this work and these people. Their commitment, the expertise they bring, their enthusiasm. It's a good time for the health department.
Great, thank you. So, Mr. Chair, I will make a motion that the board approve an order appointing Deborah Giard and Reverend Dr. Deborah Patterson to the Marion County Health Advisory Board with terms ending June 30th, 2021.
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded to make these appointments to the Health Advisory Board. Any further discussion? Don't hear any, so all in favor say aye.
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 Aye. And that motion passes. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Welcome. And our third action item this morning is under Public Works. We consider approval of a resolution that transfers control of Wave Division 7 LLC DBA Wave Broadband to Radiate Holdings LP. Alan Haley is here. Go ahead.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Alan Haley, Public Works Director and Cable Officer for Marion County. Before you is a request for a resolution transferring control of cable television franchise, as you said, from Wave Division 7 LLC to Radiate Holdings LP. This is part of their franchise agreement for the board to be able to make this kind of to move this resolution forward. Radiate Holdings has submitted the required paperwork for this process to effect basically the transfer of controlling interest of the franchise. It's not actually a sale, it's controlling interest. So per Section 11 of the franchise agreement, the county board must approve the transfer in writing. Enclosed in your packet is a resolution approving the transfer. Wave Division 7 LLC will still be the franchisee. There are no real financial impacts from signing the resolution or from this transfer of controlling interest. There should not be any customer service issues, as it should be business as usual from the customer's point of view in terms of the services that Wave Broadband provides to the community. So our recommendation is to go ahead and adopt the resolution transferring the controlling interest in the franchise from Wave Division 7 LLC to Radiate Holdings LP. Open for questions.
So could you give us a little bit of information? What do we know about Radiate Holdings? Where are they from? What's their experience?
Well, that's a very good question. And I don't totally have the answer. I believe Radiate Holdings is out of Texas. It's an investment company, is my knowledge of them. And that's pretty much what I know about them.
And Wave has been around for a while, but this particular franchise has kind of had its ups and downs, right?
More ups of late with Wave.
Okay, all
It
right,
used to
good.
be Country Cable,
Yeah, that's what I
and
remember.
Wave Broadband took over Country Cable.
Okay.
They were in financial strife, and Wave came through and took them over and took over their plant, and continued to provide services. They have probably, I think, around 3 times the amount of customers they had than
Okay.
Country Cable had. So they've done a lot of development in our service area. So they've been a real plus to the community.
And this service area is Woodburn and,
Service area is Marion County. It's a county-wide franchise.
okay, but it doesn't, it's not in Salem and Kaiser, right?
It's north of Kaiser, just north of Kaiser. But it's in the,
Anything
And-
that's
and-
outside of the Salem Kaiser area is?
yes, it's in the UGB.
Right,
And
okay.
they have services up in Woodburn area, they have services to the south and South Salem. And then, again, just north of Kaiser, I believe they have some in North County.
Mhm.
So they've been spreading their service.
Okay.
So, yeah, Mr. Chair, a potential conflict of interest. They're my provider.
I think that's fun.
Do you like them?
Well,
Okay, never
You
mind.
got some information on them?
I just looked them up, yeah. No, I'm not gonna make any comments in public about service.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think you have a potential conflict.
No,
if
I'm
it's a
teasing,
provider, right?
but they are out South Salem. Wave has been the provider out there for a while. It's interesting progression, we're going from a dial-up phone line to a satellite internet to a DSL and now broadband out there, so making some progress. Broadband that's so.
I'm still on DSL.
Really?
Yeah.
You're my neighbor, we just run a wire over there. So, Mr. Chair, looking for a motion, I'm sure. Consider approval, I move that we consider approval of a resolution transferring the control of Wave Division 7 LLC, DBA Wave Broadband to Radiate Holdings LP.
I'll second your motion. We're approving it, right? Not just considering it.
Did I say consider?
Yeah.
Okay, approve. I'm
We'll
sorry.
make him perfect, yeah.
Okay, all right, yeah. I'm
All
working
right.
You'll
on it.
never make me perfect.
It's been moved and seconded
I'm
to
lost.
approve the resolution that transfers control from Wave Division to Radiate Holdings. Just one more comment, and then not mean to be critical at all, but that was, Commissioner Carlson's question was mine. When we have these, we really need to know a little bit about the company that's coming. I know they're held to the same terms and everything else of the former contract, but, or franchise, but I'd like to know something about them to make sure they can provide service, I guess.
I made a mental note to talk with legal counsel about deeper research.
Thank you. All right, anything else?
Mr. Chair, I can't find much about them because it's a private company. It looks like it's privately held. So that's all I can find. There's a lot of Bloomberg and those kinds of things, but
Okay.
I agree with you.
All right, I'll call a question, then all in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Alan.
Thanks, Commissioners.
Well, that's the end of our agenda this morning, other than this, and this is the shortest list I think I've ever seen with the places we'll be together in the coming week, and I think that we'll talk about it. Isn't a normal week coming up. Tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock to 9, we have a breakfast with the City of Salem, Marion County meeting. That's at Sassy Onion, 1244 State Street in Salem, and then nothing scheduled till next Wednesday, 9 o'clock for our next regular board session. So I thought might just take a second, talk about, we've done lots of planning, lots of thinking about the eclipse, complicated with the fires going on in East County. I think we've tried to consider every possibility that seems reasonable and have ideas at how to deal with them, asking everybody to be flexible and respond the best we can. But I think we've given it enough thought. I'm kind of anxious for it to be done. I still don't know, although there's indications that people are already moving into the state and stuff, so it does act like like we will see a lot of people.
The weather forecast is the big question mark now, and so
Both the coast and here, the last I saw, were favorable.
said
so-
partly sunny. I was reading about it yesterday, and it popped up in the paper today on the forecast now that it's already Wednesday. But the question is whether or not it'll be one of those days where it's cloudy in the morning and then it burns off. And it,
About 11.
right, yeah, exactly. So if that's the case, there are going to be a whole lot of people that come here. They're going to be really disappointed. So,
It does seem like wherever you are is where you'll be, so I
Right.
wouldn't plan on moving to find something. This wasn't on the places we'll be together, but I intend to be up at Detroit taking a tour of the fire and whatever else is going on there, and I think Commissioner Cameron, you'll be up there, so we'll try to get that locked down and noticed. And then for me personally, I'll just be kind of on call on the weekend. I intend to make some, well, that's a great picture you're showing on your screen already. Make some visits to the OC the Emergency Operations Center that'll be standing up over the weekend. So anxious to go.
well, and I think the bottom line is, I read this in all the blogs and the websites and things, we hope it's just a really fun event for people, that it's enjoyable, that people are safe, that, we can celebrate this big
Party.
natural event that's happening and that we just happen to be in the middle of. So a lot of planning, a lot of preparation, a lot of kind of doomsday, oh dear, what's going to happen with traffic and food and internet and all those kinds of things. But I think the bottom line is that we're going to all survive it, and we'll talk about it for years to come.
Now, I noticed on Facebook, you've had a couple different shares, whatever, having to do with safety, and there was something on the news, a couple of fellas that kind of didn't follow it, that has all their life now
Yeah.
had these, they said it looked like when they blur out a license plate on TV, there's spots in their eyes. So I'm hoping people will really take that part seriously. There's just no need to, and watch kids real close. We have these glasses, but if you notice, there's little gaps, and I don't think you want to be letting the sun shine through those gaps.
No, you don't.
So, and then, of course, there was other things about, I had a pair that did have a little bend, and I was looking, and where that bend was also a crack. So have the glasses, be careful, watch kids. I don't want anybody to be scarred out of this. Let's make it fun.
Right. Yeah, I took to heart our conversation last week where I was saying people need to share the information. And then my son, who I flew down to Salt Lake to help do his bulletin boards last weekend.
So, I didn't know you helped on that. I saw.
Yeah, I was the author of the
Oh,
bulletin
I
boards.
thought he was kind of arty.
Yeah, right. So anyway, he pointed out that if people haven't liked my commissioner page, if my friends haven't liked my commissioner page, they don't see my commissioner page. So then all of a sudden it was like, well, I have to put it on my personal page too. So I got real busy. I had about 3 hours sitting at the airport on Sunday evening, so
Bang. Well,
I shared
good
all of those things
information.
on my page. So
I looked at it.
yeah.
What? What are you writing? Something bad, aren't you?
Yeah, this picture of us that is on Facebook is pretty cool.
Think so?
Yeah. Yeah.
So can you get Facebook on your computer here?
Yeah.
He does. He knows how to do all the good stuff.
Well, I think Jolene just posted it.
Are you writing something bad, or do I have to?
I was going to say something about Janet and I are looking the right direction. You don't know where the sun is, but I'm not going to say that on Facebook.
They're dark. All right, anything
Yeah.
else this morning? Last call. Hope to see you all next week.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting weekend. Like you said, lots of people put in a lot of effort to do the best we can to prepare for this. State, federal, our county guys, Ed Flick is just, and our sheriff's department and public works department are just working their, what's off to make sure that people are staying safe, and that's what we're hoping for. It maybe get delayed somewhere, but so everybody's safe is what we care about. And I had a report just yesterday. Somebody texted me and said somebody was selling firewood at the base of the Little North Fork Road.
Really?
And
Oh, for
I
people
sent it
coming
on to the
in.
sheriff's office because there's no fires
No.
up there, right? And so we just need people to think, think straight. And we know there'll be somebody. Hopefully it won't be, but sometimes somebody that doesn't think straight does something stupid. Just pray that none of those things happen this weekend. So
Yeah.
I'll give you a report on the smoke. Yeah.
And I don't know where the sun is. Well, it was dark. Shoot. All right, anything else?
You're fine. You'll know where it is on Monday.
Let's call,
he'll be perfectly safe.
or I'll be the one with the eyes fried. This meeting's adjourned.